Shannon, please give Joe Burrow a letter grade for his Super Bowl performance.
Skip, I gave him a C because I thought he was very average. For me, going into this entire playoffs, they've been winning, but Joe Burrow has not played like he did down the stretch in the regular season. Yeah, I understand he overcame the 9 sacks, threw for 348 yards against Tennessee, but he didn't get the ball into the end zone. So he's been very pedestrian. Skip, his quarterback is 40. His QBR was 40 throughout the playoffs. That's 50 is average. So he's been below that. This is what Joe Burrow did his last 5 drives after they took a 20-13 lead. Punt, 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 turnover on downs. 50 yards, 50 total yards on his last 5 drives. Even the 75-yard, okay, you say that, hey, it didn't turn his head, it didn't yank it, he didn't bleed, no blood, no foul. I get all that. But Skip, he's very average yesterday. Basically, he had 2 big plays, a 75-yard touchdown to Higgins and a tremendous one-handed catch by Jamar Chase. Other than that, he was 20 of 31 for 122 and 0 touchdowns. But, Skip, I think we better pump the brakes on this next Brady stuff, okay? Let's just hold on before we start, because 300-yard games, he had 5 touchdowns in 4 games. So I gave him a C. I understand he was under duress, but what people was crowing about and giving him so much credit for is that he's been able to perform really well while dealing with this kind of duress. Don't make it seem like, oh, his offensive line was bad. They've been bad. That's why he led the league in sacks. Hell, that's what knocked him out of the game 2 years ago. His offensive line got him sacked, got his knee shredded when he was playing the Washington football team. So all of a sudden, wait, his line, I didn't know. Yes, you did know. Did you not see? 19 sacks. He had got sacked 9 times in the game. How many times a guy gets sacked 9 times to win the game? So, Skip, even though with the duress, I expected more. I gave him a C because I thought he was average, and I think for the better part of the playoffs, he's been average. Yes, they won, and you know when you win, the quarterback's going to get the credit. But, Skip, he's been average, especially compared to what we saw over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All I ever said about Joe Burrow, still very young Joe Burrow, is that he's the closest thing left to Brady, but that he'll never, ever even imagine being Tom Brady.
Well, you said he's young. If you don't get an offensive line, he ain't going to make it to get old.
That is correct. Because there is no way in heaven or hell that Tom Brady's going to get sacked 9 times in a game or 7 times in a Super Bowl. So if I have to grade him, I'm going to give him a B for this effort only because of his degree of difficulty, because he's under fire from, I think we'd say, the best overall pass rush in pro football, because there is a Von Miller and there is a Leonard Floyd, and even though he got hurt last night. And
AD.
By the way, they're coming from everywhere, because there's the real AD in L.A.
There you go. Why you trying to start some mess, Skip? Why you just can't call him Aaron Donald?
You just kept saying, you just did it in our previous topic. Am I right? And then there is that kid, Ernest Jones, who came out of nowhere flying number 50, who gave them a 4th, or you could say Greg Games is in there. It's like a 5th rusher, because he's blitzing like a madman, and he's all over Joe Burrow.
Right.
So, again, I'm going to use the stat again. Their pass block win rate last night was 14%. That means across the board, they only won 14% of their matchups trying to block the on-rushing Rams. And that is by far the lowest in any single game this whole season in the National Football League. Well, obviously, if you put a young quarterback under that kind of fire, he's going to have a hard time. Meanwhile, on the other side, Matt Stafford has a QBR of only 61, which is not that great. It's not like he set so far on fire last night. And yet, down the stretch, especially in the second half, Matt Stafford had enough time to go shopping on Rodeo Drive.
That's a long way. That's a long way from Inglewood.
It's a long way, but he had time to get in his car and just motor right on over. Or maybe he could call Uber and go to Rodeo and shop and come back and throw the football to Cooper Kupp, because by that time he would be open somewhere beating 3 defenders. But the point is that he did some good things and he did some bad things. The throw to Jamar Chase that he one-handed, which is one of the great Super Bowl catches I have ever seen.
It was.
Like all time. It's
Right.
way up there with some Lynn Swann catches I
Yes.
saw, with a Butch Johnson catch in the end zone against your Denver
Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah. I think that was in New Orleans, wasn't it?
It was in New Orleans. It was. Yeah, here we go. Here's the one-handed catch. That's one-handed snag, and it was a very good throw. In fact, it was the only sort of credible throw of the night where you actually had time to deliver a deep ball to a guy who can get deep. And he's about to come under siege there.
Yeah, because I think that was Vaughn right in his face. That was Vaughn right in his face.
Yep. So the point is, there are a couple other plays that I think we should give him the credit of showing, because there's the Tyler Boyd drop, and it was a huge drop in this game. It's 6:22 left in the game, and it's 3rd and 9 at the Bengals 40, and he throws it to Tyler Boyd, who hadn't dropped a ball all year.
He's looking to run. You see his head turn. He's already turning, Skip.
Is he going to get the first?
No, but I believe they're going to go for it.
It's going to be close. Yeah, maybe he's not going to quite get there.
But I believe they're going for it. Do you think they're going to go for it?
Well, they did all the game. They went for it in the first series of the game.
And Skip, and the thing, and here's the thing. He made his mind up that I'm going to Chase on this 4th and 1. He had Joe Mixon.
He did. No, I got it.
You take Joe Mixon got 3 yards easy.
Okay, so in the end, I must admit I was disappointed in a Joe Burrow that I had high hopes for in this game, because there are 3 or 4 plays that did not get made that should have gotten made.
Right.
Where if you are Tom Brady, what did I talk about? What Brady does, he speed reads before the snap. He knows pretty much where he's going before the snap, because he has a pretty good idea of where you're going.
Right.
And he's going to figure out pre-snap, I got to go here because they're going to be on me in 2.5.
Right.
So I got to get rid of the ball. And the first one that disappointed me was that 3rd and 3 when they have a chance to just
you're
take
going to blow the
you
game
out.
open.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 3 down at the 11-yard line. And you just have to find somebody. This is after the second interception.
Right.
And you got the Rams on the ropes and they're building. You just have to get rid of that ball. It has to be gone before then. And you take a sack and you take a much longer field goal. That's the guard who just can't block Aaron Donald. So you get the mismatch that you wanted, drive him right back into Joe Burrow. But the point is, the ball, it's only 3 yards that you need. You have to have an idea before the snap. I'm going to go here and I'm going to get rid of the ball quickly.
Yes.
So here's my point. Last night, if I took 44-year-old Tom Brady and inserted him in this game in place of Joe Burrow, the Bengals win that game.
I don't know, Skip. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Is that guard still in there blocking for Tom Brady?
Yeah, but he's just going to say, I'm saying that it would be the same circumstance. And why they didn't use that Jackson Carman, their second-round pick this year, the rookie?
Yeah,
they didn't use him
sure.
one snap. And it's just Adeniji is in there all night. He took every snap at right guard. And you were talking about a weak link.
Right.
It's a disaster.
But they did Skip. They did a great job. If you notice, you saw Vaughn and AD on the same side more than you had ever seen them. You saw them doing a lot more games than you had ever seen them.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because it's like, whose turn is it this time?
Exactly.
You want to eat, or is it my turn?
My turn.
Okay. So in the end, I still thought Joe Burrow had a chance, because he made 2 nice throws.
Right.
He threw it to Chase on Jalen.
But Jalen didn't, Skip, he didn't need to take that chance. Why are you trying to undercut that, bro?
And to Burrow's credit, he sniffed the gamble and threw it over his head. And for a second, I thought Jamar was gone, and he just sort of ran out of bounds.
Yeah,
but
he might have should have cut that one back.
I think you're right.
Because here's the thing, Skip, I got 2 timeouts. I can afford to blow one. If I get an opportunity to cut, I'm gonna cut that back.
You got plenty of time, because you're at a minute and a half.
Yep.
And then he hit Tyler Boyd again for 9. This one he caught.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, you're 2nd and 1 at the Rams' 49-yard line. And I'm thinking, all you need is one more throw, and you're in that.
10 yards, you're in range.
Yeah, 10, 12 yards, you got a shot, because that little rookie kicker, he's got a thunderfoot.
Yes.
And instead, you throw a deep ball to nobody, and I still don't know what he was thinking.
He thought he was going to catch what you call him gambling again.
I guess so, but he just throws it, and Jamar just breaks his route off.
He thought he was going to catch Ram being nosy, cluing again.
I guess so. And then Pirine goes nowhere, and against the play of the game by Aaron Donald, because he just reaches, grabs him around the waist and restrains him. And P. Ryan's
yeah, he's
a
240.
moose.
He's at least 240.
Yeah. And then we get to the last 4th and 1, and this is the play Brady's just going to make. He's going to figure out a way to get rid of the football. He's not going to let Aaron Donald get an arm around him and sling him down. He almost slung it right to P. Ryan. But the point is, it just left me flat and disappointed because you had your chances and you failed.
I'm gonna put this game on Zach Taylor, because I thought Joe Mixon should have played a more of a role in running the football, Skip. I thought he did a good job
of
running.
Way.
Yeah, and the thing,
one thing you can do on Aaron Donald, you can run some on him. He'll get run past.
But I think the thing that they did a really good job and what deterred them is that if you look at the first 3 games, Skip, they stopped the run. So now it was quarterback season. We could go hunting.
Yep.
But Mixon ran the ball fairly well.
He did.
I mean, he had 15 rushes for 72. Now let's just say, Skip, we give him another 7 or 8 of those rushes.
Yep.
And we take 7 of
I'll buy
those.
that.
Yeah, that's
okay. But Burrow had been their magic man all year long.
And you see what Sean McVay fell into that trap the first
did.
Super Bowl against New England.
He did. I agree.
Jared Goff has been our Superman.
Had been.
You better run the football. Even if you're not getting anything, it just plants the seed. At that point, Skip, they're like, we just hunting. We ain't even worried about the run. We know y'all not going to run it. So we just going to go get tee off on your quarterback. He's not. You said he's a young man. He ain't going to live to get old.
No,
not football age. If he keeps taking punishment like that, I don't care what he says. I played running back. I was a wide receiver.
I was a DB.
You're not going to take that kind of punishment, Skip, and play quarterback in this league.
I love the physicality.
Okay,
no,
it sounds good.
Yeah. But the longevity is the concern in that way.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.